fact, if you see a litter of puppies playing, I said, look at the puppies playing, take a good look. They're not playing, they're bullying each other. No animals play in the wild, actually, nothing. And I can tell you another thing, if anyone's ever been to a free flight bird show, you should ask the keepers how they make them do that. It's basically through starvation. Not as bad as in the wild, I'll give them that much, but I've got to keep you that hungry, you go from A to B to C, and that's it. They have to weigh the birds daily. In fact, just recently, in one of the big zoos, they lost a condor because it wasn't hungry enough, so it flew up into a tree instead of coming down.
Oh, anyway.
What I'm going to do here, I'm going to get him to open his mouth for you, and then I'm going to stick my finger in the mouth. Oh, here he's go down his spot, yeah, come on. That's his water because he thinks we're other crocodiles, people. Exciting. Come on, up you go. Open big, open big.
So we can't go near his water?
So when you do again.
Don't think he likes
Oh look,
that.
what might happen if he grabs me, people, watch. Gotcha. Gotcha. Up me again, go for it, come on. See what happens? By leaving my crocodiles be crocodiles and then using their instincts to my advantage by giving a dead piece of meat that's big enough to swallow. You notice he just grabs it and he wants to swallow it. That's all he wants to do. And both hands have been in crocodiles' mouths quite a few times, believe you me. Brian had that one once. Charlene's had it. Hannibal. Goes on. But by leaving my hand to wait till they go for the swallow and take it back. Nearly every other zoo you'll find or park, they throw pieces of meat on strings and make them pull off the string. So they condition the crocodiles to bite and hang on. Yeah. So if they make a mistake like they did in Townsville, that girl gets really chewed up. Yeah.
Like,
and the sad part about that one you may have heard was the fact that she panicked and cornered herself. If she'd have walked in a circle, like this one, if I go here, we'll chase me what? If he chases me, I'll keep walking in a circle, and I can just wear him out by walking in a circle. That's all I have to do. So if she'd done that, she'd have been safe.
what was this?
But she cornered herself and it grabbed her on the arm, and at the moment it grabbed her on the arm, if the other keeper that was with her would have jumped on that crocodile's back, because it was only a small one, it would have done very little damage. But because it grabbed her on the arm and started shaking her, he couldn't hit the croc because it was shaking her. She said, he saved my life. Somebody let you get really badly hurt. If he'd have done the right thing and jumped on his back, he was afraid too.
What was that Christmas?
Open big.
Shouldn't have said that.
Did get another snap out of it.
Was that the keeper that was there?
Yeah. Just a young...
We know him up there anyway.
Eh?
We know.
He's a young fella, yeah?
Huh?
He's a young fella. He has to do psychological
How did
thing
that
before he
happen?
goes back to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for,
Because he got affected by it, did he?
well, they reckon he might be. He's not really affected by it, but yeah, it was pretty traumatic experience for a young keeper.
Not Lee, it's for me,
The
Bill.
thing is, if he had the proper training, that shouldn't have happened. As soon as we seen the footage, we said that spotter should not have been there.
Yeah.
She didn't know what she was doing, and that keeper needs to kick up the behind because he let her get hurt.
We have to have it jump on his back immediately.
So that's
About
what...
100 kilo, it costs about 70 kilos.
Yeah, yeah. Was it,
It's a little female.
oh, is it small?
2 point something metres.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It would have been a
What was it?
4.5, mate, is he dead?
It would have taken her arm off in the one bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me?
It came close though.
Yeah.
Big guy.
The tongue, is it like, it's kind of like not separate like ours?
No, well, just imagine if you could snap that hard.
Yeah.
If you had a tongue that hung out, it'd get really right size quickly, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so it just kind of sits in the
Yep.
bottom and just
Well, that's
like,
right.
moves in the same muscular kind of way.
Yeah, up and down.
Awesome. Oh, sweet.
And it's actually modified to create like valves back to stop him filling up with water.
Okay.
I mean, until you came, you thought it'd be impossible to stick your finger in the crocodile's mouth, didn't you?
It's like a toothbrush.
Slap. The bottom jaw will come up.
As I said, if you spend a month here and we explain everything that we do and how we do it and show you and train you, you can do everything we do here. It's just from the correct teaching.
What did you just do
So
there? How
they
did that
use, you know how
happen?
they make
Because he's
handbags out of
that
crocodiles and
crocodile
stuff like
slam in
that.
his mouth. So
Do they use other body parts in that?
Everything.
Oh, everything.
So he's
Like that.
Meat,
did he
meat
take it out?
fused,
Did it?
yeah. Feet, souvenirs, they have souvenirs, they use every part of it. That's the thing about the crocodile farming. The whole animal is utilised.
Do they use the tongue and stuff?
Well, they sell the whole head
The whole
as
head.
a souvenir.
Like a scarf, like a
You know,
taxidermied head.
Yeah, okay.
tongue stays in it then, you know. So
Excuse me, are we going to feed them the girl?
so
Yeah,
yeah,
but
feed
you
him
can't
shortly.
meet the demand for
We're going to make him go for a
meat
swim
in
for you.
Australia. We import still
We're
Yeah,
going to
so
make
much
him
of it.
do an attack. So you can actually see how dangerous these creatures actually can be.
Oh, you're going to make a good.
And then any kids that are naughty, you're going to throw in the water after them.
Yes, please. Yay, I'll be naughty. I can't hold them down.
It will never become extinct.
He's doing this because he was raised from a baby
farm and
to
make
become another
crocodile.
crocodile.
You're guaranteed its existence. It will never become extinct because it's worth money.
So it's just being sort of in a way.
Yeah, well, it's no different. Like people go, oh, how can you? It's no different. You eat meat. It's no different to a cow being killed, a pig, a sheep. As long as you
And you might
utilise
notice
as much
going
of
to
it
the
as you
splash,
can,
not to me.
and they
Yeah.
do a lot of it. So
The
we go,
splashing means there's something that
we're a little bit
Yes.
extra income so we can keep our group small.
He's not thinking of anything.
So we can offer a better experience for
I bet he's thinking he'd like to get his teeth into you sometimes.
Thing as well.
over summer.
Where's the feed?
We've done some tests. We've actually made a dummy up, sat on the bed with him, drop the dummy down,
Yeah.
grab it, take the water, take the shit out.
Okay, yeah.
Well, those eggs are there for 9
They don't know,
days.
they only roll when they want to tear a
I don't
chunk
know
off,
how
don't
long
they?
that
Yeah.
gestation period, like
He
how
just
long
shakes
the
his
eggs
picks up, goes,
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even know.
Well, I tell you what, there's a
But yeah,
story in
it's believed
Africa
to be a month or so.
that when a person in
They lay
Africa
their
gets
eggs
eaten
in
by, taken by a croc, the croc
But it
goes
does
to the middle
depend
of the
on
river,
the
holds the
temperature a
person
little
up and waves it around and says, see, I've got one of you.
If it's
All he's doing is picking him up, trying to shake it in half. Okay, we'll go around the corner and make him attack.
Sweet.
It is actually that deep, which is just halfway up here. That's the water depth. Good. Just on now, you're all.
See the
He's
ripples
in.
there?
Yeah, I see him.
Sliding into the water. See
Yeah,
what
we
you can
just-
notice.
We're going to
Females
splash
fall
here.
into the water, so he bumps his ass. She will blow in for bubbles and carry on.
Yeah.
She'll be on
I
the
see him.
last one, so.
She might come over here. We'll see.
There's 3, 2 females and a male. Females don't grow much over 100 kilos, so they're real nervous.
But he can
when they
sneak
come up
behind you.
Yes, you
because
might.
we're roughly the same. They're
What?
worried
She
that
does
we'll hurt them.
sometimes.
And the males.
All you
600
might see,
kilos,
people, is that bit of weed there start to move like the wind's blowing it back that way a bit. That's all you'll notice.
Yeah.
Like you see bubbles back there, that's his back leg.
Yep, yep.
See that? That's 650
Oh my god.
Yeah, he come up quick, didn't he?
I can't.
Too busy watching the bubbles,
You
yeah.
can understand that when the people get taken, they never see the croc that gets them.
So they can actually feel the splashing.
They are awesome enough creatures without telling you bullshit. I can tell you what.
Yeah,
And he's down here still.
The animals drink.
That's right on his
This is where
nose.
he comes to feed.
I can
The
run that
animals are here
stick
drinking.
around his nose like I did
That's
with
where
Brian
we feed
before,
him.
and he does
So
nothing,
he comes
okay?
over, feels the splashing,
If we
he thinks it's
splash-
an animal drinking, and he normally bites him.
How much blood? Yeah, I like this part.
Whoa.
Boom, gotcha.
That could have wetted
He can
my
hold his breath for
socks.
3 hours. So he can
What?
sit there just
They can
underwater
wet my
for 3 hours,
Nah,
waiting
they
for
wet
you
my
to come
socks.
down and have a drink so
When
he
I'm
can have a
careful.
feed.
Did you wet my socks?
Now you've got to remember all
They
animals
can't count.
on the planet
If it did, it
need water more than they need food.
You think on the third
He
time
lives
he
in the
might,
water. He lives in the only
third
pub
time
in
he's
town.
2 minutes now. No,
Oh,
they can't count. Their brains
And everything comes down a road. The road from the water looks like a tree where animals drink to where they feed. So if you do find yourself lost in the wilderness somewhere and you find a very well-worn animal pad and you follow it, and that pad starts to split up, you can pretty well say I'm going away from any water. You turn around and go back the other way, coming together. Bear Grylls doesn't tell you that, does he? No.
What's in there?
Lapping water like a dog. Lap, 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 lap.
Oh, that can just came out of land.
And I'm 66 people, I'm not that fast anymore. And that's what makes them so dangerous, people. And the sad part is, the national parks people have this criteria in their legislation that if you want to complain about a crocodile, it's got to be about to attack. He's right there now, look.
I saw his nose.
Or has attacked, well it's too late if it has attacked, or if it's exhibiting aggressive behaviour towards humans. He was lying on the bank, he wanted to eat me, but he did nothing. So that lady up north that got killed on the beach near Mossman, it should never have happened up Port Douglas way. Because if there's a crocodile around in the wild, it is always hungry. You can imagine that. So if there's any big croc, they should immediately remove it, not wait for someone to get eaten or something. So by rights, they should be able to sue those people. They're stupid ideas, these people. And they won't come to people like us and ask. Or if there's a problem croc, they won't come and get us to catch it. Although in the 60s were allowed to, believe it or not. In the 80s, sorry. But then they stopped. They had to be seen to be doing it. They can't do it.
Okay.
They don't know what they're doing. In fact, there's a croc down at Gladstone. They spent $250,000 trying to catch it. They said Rob catch it, it'll cost them nothing. It was your money, people.
Is it true, if you relocate a croc from one end of Australia to the other, they make their way back? In that territory?
Not Australia, but several hundred kilometres, no problems at all.
Yep.
But you think of it, if he swims at 10 kilometres an hour, in 10 hours he's 100 k's. At 5 kilometres an hour, it's 50 k's, you know? You can't do it, you know? And that's the stupid part about it. And I remember Steve Irwin, his first documentary he ever did, and I don't mind the guy, don't get me wrong, but the bullshit they tell you is ridiculous. He catches this croc and he takes it 10 kilometres upriver and lets it go. Relocates it 10 k's. That's only 5 minutes, you know, at the tide. He's back again, you know. I'm saving it by relocating 10 kilometres up the river.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
How many crocodiles do you have?
We've got about 13 big ones and about 50 smaller ones.
So how does that make them bigger?
63. But that just shows you people they're extremely dangerous creatures, honestly. And if you do complain about a croc, they'll go to the room and say, we went down there and we couldn't see one. And it could be right there. Right there.
Why do
Or we saw one, but it wasn't exhibiting aggressive behaviour towards humans. What is that? So a bit of strange, so we think about it. I've actually, in the last 12 years or so, written 3 letters to Work Health and Safety Queensland to come to our park with a video camera to film safe crocodile handling, and they've never answered the letters and they've never come. They don't want the safety, they want what happens up there. Then they make a big public report about it, oh, they did everything right. In fact, you know what the worst thing I've seen? I was listening to the radio a couple of years ago, it was on the ABC, and this talkback radio says, what's the stupidest thing you've got in your workplace? And Blake says, when I go to work, it says on the gate, leave common sense outside. That's the sign, leave common sense outside, just follow the rules. How silly are we? And I live by common sense, people. It's getting me good. Come on. She's coming over, front.
the other one?